Parshas Bechukosai, Shabbos Chazak, Shabbos Mevorchim, Chodesh Sivan. We're about a week before Shavuos, believe it or not, the year Tufshin Tes. And this year, we have Parshas Bahar Bechukosai are separate, so we got the special opportunity to speak on both Parshiyos. And the beautiful brachas at the beginning of this week's Parsha, those beautiful brachas is something that I would like to speak about this year. And the Pasuk tells us, amongst the brachas that Hashem is going to give us, the Parsha starts off in Bechukosai Telechu. If you will go in my Chukim, Rashi, Chazal tell us, Shetiyu Amelim B'Torah, that the object and the goal of what every person is supposed to do, what does it mean to go in the way of Hashem? To go in the way of Hashem means, bottom line, are you learning? Shetiyu Amelim B'Torah. And the Pasuk tells us, V'nosati mishkoni b'soichechem. Hashem is telling us a bracha, that I'm going to put my mishkan, I will dwell among you. V'lo yisigal nafshi eschem. I will not become, you will not disgust me. V'yisalachti b'soichechem. Hashem says, I will go amongst you, kaviyachol. V'yisi lochem le'lekim. I will be for you, for a God. And Rashi tells us that what does v'yisalachti b'soichechem mean? What does it mean that Hashem will go amongst us? Rashi says, Atayel imochem began Eden. I will kaviyachol, I will drezach with you. I will walk amongst you, ke'echad mikem, like one of you in Gan Eden. V'lo yisiyu mizdazeim mimenu. You will not shake out of fear of myself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying. I will walk with you in Gan Eden, and you will not be shaking from fear. So we could ask, Yochol, I would think, Lo yisiru mimenu. I would think, what is Hashem telling us? That we're not going to be afraid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're not going to fear. We're not going to have Yiras Shamayim. Talmud Lo Yamar, the pasuk ends off. No, of course you're going to be afraid of me. V'hoyisi lochem le'lokim. You're going to be afraid of me. You're going to have Yiras Shamayim. But Hashem says, as a reward, you're not going to shake out of fear. You're not going to be that fearful of me, Hashem is saying. So really we need to understand, first of all, what this means, that we're not going to be that fearful. We're not going to be mizdazeah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but we're just going to be Yireim. We're going to be Yirei Shamayim. And so too, says the Nesivos Shalom, we need to explain why the Parsha begins. The Torah says, if you're going to follow my mitzvahs, if you're going to learn Torah, the Torah tells us, you know what the reward is going to be, and we begin to enumerate, we begin to list off the rewards, unbelievably fantastic rewards of Gashmias. And we need to understand why is it that if you follow the Torah, if you are an Amel B'Torah, if you learn the Torah, that the Torah tells us, you know what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you tremendous success, tremendous rewards of Gashmias. V'nosati gishmeichem, you'll have rain, which means you'll have parnasa, you'll have shalom, you'll have all these things of Gashmias as a reward of learning the Torah. Why aren't the rewards ruchnias dika awards? Only after Hashem tells us, after the Parsha tells us that you're going to have all these geshmak of Gashmias dika rewards, the Torah says, V'nosati mishkani b'soichechem, that I'm going to have my mishkan amongst you, which is obviously a very spiritual reward, v'salachti, and that Hashem is going to go amongst us. Those are spiritual rewards, but those only come after we're already told that we're going to be rewarded with such geshmaka gashmias. And really, these are very interesting brachas that we see here, that we only find at this point of the Torah. And of course, once we're asking questions on the beginning of this parsha, we must mention the question of the Mefarshim on this whole inyan of Hashem saying that I'm going to give you a reward for learning Torah. I'm going to give you a reward for doing the mitzvahs. Do we not know the very famous klal schar mitzvah b'hai al-maleka. There is no reward, there is no currency that can actually pay us for mitzvahs in this world. And the Nesivos Shalom says something very interesting. You know why schar mitzvah b'hai al-maleka? He says for a very, very, very important reason. And the reason is that there is actually a very big downside to being rewarded with gashmias. When a person gets gashmiastic rewards, there's a downside. The Pasuk tells us in Parshas Zois HaBracha, you know what happens when you get a lot of gashmias? Vayishman Yishurun Vayivot. The Torah tells us that you know what happens when you get gashmias? We get fattened up by the gashmias and we reject HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah tells us. And there's another pasuk. The pasuk tells us, Pentoichal v'savata. Hashem is saying, I'm going to give you a lot of good stuff, but lest you eat and you are satiated. And you know what happens? Uvatim toivim tivne. You're going to build beautiful homes. You're going to have a lot of money, and you're going to spend it on foolish things. You're going to build big, beautiful homes. Ubatim toivim tivne v'yashafta. You're going to live in these gorgeous, big mansions, excessive, much larger than you need. You know what's going to happen? The pasuk tells us, V'ram levavecha. You're going to become haughty. You're going to start feeling good about yourself. V'shalchachta es Hashem Elokecha. You're going to do all those things. You're going to have the crazy, large homes and so much gashmias that you know what happens? The Torah tells us, this is not a joke, it's the Torah talking to us. V'shalchachta es Hashem Elokecha. From so much or too much gashmias, one can even come to forget Hashem. Chas v'shalom. So says the Nesivos Shalom a beautiful thing here. So the Torah is telling us that we're going to get rewards. And we're going to get rewards of gashmias. But why? Why are you giving me rewards of gashmias? I'm going to take those rewards of gashmias and I'm going to forget Hashem. Chas v'shalom. What's going on? It says in the Nesivos Shalom that this is really a beautiful bracha. Because what the Torah is telling us, the Torah is blessing us with, Im Bechukosai telechu. If you are learning Torah and the lessons of the Torah permeate and that you become a piece of Torah, then Hashem gives you the rewards of gashmias, and by Yishman Yishurun Vayivot, rejecting Hashem is not going to happen. And that's the biggest bracha, because the natural and normal course of events is what the Torah tells us what happens when you have too much gashmias. You know what happens? You forget Hashem, you reject Hashem. But the big bracha we're getting here, Bechukosai telechu, that you're going to be, if you actually learn Torah, then it is possible to take the gashmias and it should not ruin you. It'll be a complete bracha. There will be no downside to the gashmias that you have, and that is a tremendous bracha. And you're gonna, and through that gashmias even, you're gonna come to a higher level of ruchnias. And that, says in the Nesivos Shalom, is v'nosati kishmeichem b'itam. That gashmias, v'nosati shalom ba'aretz, I will have peace, will reign in the land. R-E-I-G-N, not R-A-I-N in that case. Peace will reign in the land. All those things, with all the other brachas too, there'll be brachas of gashmias that bring you closer to Hashem, as opposed to gashmias that distances you from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it will even, the gashmias brachas will be so good, and it so won't affect you in a negative way, then the Torah could continue. Then you'll get the brachas with ruchnias that Hashem will kaviyachol stroll with us and amongst us in Gan Eden. The Torah Sa'avois brings from the Saba Kadishim Yilecha V'Zechus Yogan Aleinu on this pasuk of V'nosati Gishmeichem B'itam, and he tells us what this bracha is. And he says that this bracha of gashmias is, if the Torah would just say, V'nosati Gishmeichem, I'm going to give you gashmias, I'm going to give you riches, I'm going to give you all those good things, then maybe we taka have a problem. But says the Lechevich, he says that V'nosati Gishmeichem, but the Torah adds a word. I'll give it to you, B'itam. I'll give the brachas to you at the right time, where even the Gashmis will do the Ratzon Hashem. That's the biggest bracha, that Hashem will watch over you, that the Gashmis that you do have, you will use also to do the Ratzon Hashem. And that is a tremendous bracha. The Mishnah Masechta Avos tells us like this: Kach hi darka shel Torah. This is the derech of the Torah. You know what the derech of the Torah is? The derech of the Torah is pas b'melach toichel. You're going to eat bread with salt. Umayim b'mesurah tishteh. You'll drink small amounts of water. V'al oretz tishan. You'll sleep on the ground. V'chayei tzar tichye. You're going to live a life of tzar. Uvatoyroah to'amel. Eimatoy sekein. If you do this, Ashrecha v'toivlach. It's going to be fantastic for you. Ashrecha v'olam hazeh v'toivlach l'olam haba. Now let me ask you a question. Bomb question. Everybody has the same question. I just told you, you're going to eat bread and salt. Small measurements of water. You're going to live a life of tsar. What is Ashrecha v'olam hazeh v'toivlach l'olam haba? I could understand, but Ashrecha b'olam hazeh, what kind of enjoyment are you having in olam hazeh if you have to live a life of tsar? If the right way to do it is to have a little bread, a little water, with a little salt on the bread, that's not called Ashrecha b'toivlach. Ashrecha b'olam hazeh, what kind of olam hazeh is that? So with the way we were explaining it, we might be able to understand this Mishnah. The answer is that if one becomes a person that is not running after Gashmias, you're not running after the luxuries, you don't need it, it doesn't become a part of you, you do not become a piece of Gashmias. If the Torah is so much part of you in that way, then even if Hashem gives you brachas, Ashrecha b'olam hazeh, and you could have kol tuv, but it'll be Gashmias that you'll use. For, in other words, now, if a person actually learns the Torah, and the Gashmis is talking, you don't care, you're ready to eat bread and salt, you're ready to do all that, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's the right way and the right time for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you the brachas. Then even Ashrecha b'olam hazeh, even when Hashem is going to give you the rewards, even when Hashem gives you the tremendous Gashmias, which will be a bracha to you, it will be at the right time, and it won't ruin you because it doesn't become part of you. You're still a person that you're willing to settle, and you're ready to settle for much less, to eat less, to drink less, to do all of that. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give you the bracha. So that's what our parsha is telling us. In Bechukosai telechu, and you learn the Torah, Hashem will watch over you, that the brachas of Gashmis that you get will stay within the Ratzon Hashem. It'll bring you to V'nosati Mishkani B'Seichechem. The goal of having the Gashmias will be that the Gashmias is used for Ruchnias. It's used to do the Ratzon Hashem. And that is the biggest bracha we can get, that we don't reject Hashem and we don't forget Hashem, and that the Gashmis becomes part of your Ratzon Hashem. And that's what the Chazal are telling us, that Atayel imcha b'gan Eden, and you're not going to shake from me. You know why? Because it's a different type of yira. The yira that we're going to have is a yira that's mixed with ahava. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to see how we use the Gashmias. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to see how we go about our lives. What's the ikr to us? What's most important? Is it the rewards of Gashmias? Is it the big house? Is it the fancy things in life? Is that what it is? Or is it that the ikr by me is how we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The ikr is Shetiyu Amelim B'Torah. If you have all of that, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the fear, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, yes, you'll have Yiras Shamayim, but it'll be with such a hava that you're not going to be mizdazeh mimeni. I'm going to atayel imcha, the biggest bracha. Hashem says, I will spend the time with you, and you will not have to be that fearful with me that you'll be afraid to be with me. And that's really the lesson of the beginning of this week's parsha. Hashem saying, I'm going to give you all the brachas of Gashmias. Oh, I'm going to give you all the brachas of Gashmias. But you know what? The brachas of Gashmias are only good if they're used for the Ratzon Hashem. If we don't forget Hashem, if we don't have the default, we should taka all be zoicha to im Bechukosai telechu chazak chazak v'nis chazek.